924 patch notes already have the search term prepared. I was wondering when these were coming out, but it had just been 2 weeks. Shoju is back! Yahoo! Finally, our best friend. Patch 924 notes by Shoi Shoju. Hello, friends! It's the last patch of the year. As with most patches following a huge shakedown like preseason, we have a lot of changes and tweaks in this patch after assessing some of the initial data and our general feedback. We've also already adjusted the knobs on some of the new drakes, monsters, and pacing components of the game in 923. Yeah, there were a bunch of little hotfixes. They hotfixed the new item that builds out of dirt. I know that is one thing that they fixed. That we're including here in case you missed it. And while this is technically the last patch of the year, you may see an end of year 924B balance patch, a patch with no skins or features based off of how the game is in a couple of weeks. There will be a separate set of patch notes for that, so keep an eye out. Oh, I've always got one eye open, Hannah Shoi Shoju. We're training smithing here. Getting some gains while we're at it. Before we go, make sure to hold on to your potion, onto your poison, because everyone's new favorite edgy boy and his sister, Aphelios, joins the Rift in 924. Really? I didn't know that was now. Following her Lunary Brethren's release, Diana is also getting an overhaul to her kit, VFX, sound effects, and ability icons to exude more of the moonly glow of her people. Last but not least, Poro King is back for a limited time. Oh, finally! Get your snowballs ready for more fun with everyone's favorite Royal Fluffball. Take this portal if you're looking for the TFT patch notes. I am not. Aphelios, we'll make a video about Aphelios when we know about Aphelios, but he's a character that I think on data sheets, he's just too much. You actually have to see him in game, so we'll see him in game, I guess. He's out now. Okay. Akali changes. Remove the hitbox behind Akali so her Q only goes forward. That's good. That was really annoying. Akali's Q worked if she was standing inside of you, kind of, too. So, that's really good. This pro-facing specific... This is a pro-specific change we're making since many pro players use this uniquely shaped hitbox to wave clear optimally, while most other players have a hard time accessing the and utilizing it properly. And they nerfed it. 33% bonus magic damage to 25, and it only goes in front of her. That's good. Amumu, Q cooldown decreased early. Small little buffs for the boy. 2 seconds off is nice, and then 1.5 scaling back down. Most important, level 1. I think that you level up Q first on Amumu, probably just for cooldown, the same reason that you do with Lee Sin. Double check that. I'm pretty sure you max Q on Amumu. Might be E for jungle clear. Oh, there he is. Yeah, it's E. I was wrong. So if you're leaving it at rank 1 until level 8, that makes your ganks way more powerful because you got a 2-second less cooldown. Cool. I think Amumu is just a better version of Malphite. At least he has to get on top of you before he can ult. Malphite's does 2 in 1. Okay, Braum. Base health per level and health regen increased, W cooldown decreased, cost flattened, resistance ratios to ally and self flattened, R base damage increased later, knockup now lasts longer. I don't care about this information here. Base stats, it's pretty high. They gave him 10 extra health, well, 11. And his health regen is up by 0.5. That's cool. Stand behind me is now 2 seconds lower at all ranks. Cost flatten of 40 at all ranks. That's really helpful. Resistances to allies. 16% bonus resistances to higher flat. No, same flat? These looks like the same flat. So this used to scale. Okay, that makes sense. So it used to scale off of level and have a breakpoint at, well, not really a breakpoint, but, capped at 16%. So now you're getting level 2, level 3-ish resistances at level 1. So a tiny bit stronger early, a little bit weaker late. It's fine. I never felt like this was the thing that made Bruam special. Then this, resistances to self, his self bonus is way up. So he gets bonus 20%. And this is at all ranks. That's good. So he's tankier, his allies are a little bit less. But that's totally fine. Bruam, compared to other super tanky supports, he fills a different role than other tanky supports, but I feel like you can cut down Bruam, especially if his shield is down, a lot faster than a Nautilus. And Glacial Fissure damage the same at level 1. Level 2 it's up by 50. Level 3 it's up by 100. And the knockup is 1 to 1.5 seconds at all ranks based on distance from Bruam. The first target hit, the rest is still a quarter second. Okay. That's fine. This is an ability you can dodge as well, which is fun. There are lots of abilities that you can't really dodge. This one you can. So I'm fine. It's okay. Give him a little bit of a reward for hitting it. Bruam is... I hope I'm not. Dude, I'm always wrong in the Cropnotes about how strong people actually are. But Bruam doesn't seem incredibly strong. Yeah, he's way down here. So all these changes don't seem like they're going to make him god tier or anything. They seem very minimal. Just to give him a little boost. I'm fine with that. He's also really good with Lucian, so hopefully I'll play with more Brahms. Diana, she's got some kit changes too. Hopefully she's less of a one-shot on top of you. New passive, gain 10 to 40% attack speed, scaling 1 to 18. Casting an ability triples the attack speed Diana gains from Moon Silver Blade for 3 seconds. What is Moon Silver Blade? Her passive? Okay. Triples. So at max rank, she gets a steroid for 120%. That's fine. I guess it's just not really going to attack you a lot. Every third strike cleaves. Yeah, we know about that. That's a lot higher damage on the cleave, though, right? Okay, no, I see here. Every third strike cleaves nearby enemies for 20 to 250, depending on level, plus 80% ability power, additional magic damage, and restores mana. Okay. So they've reduced the third strike by 40% damage. and it doesn't give you any mana back. Crescent Strike cost is 50 at all ranks, or what? I guess. Most of the time they write all ranks here, right? The Pale Cascade. 10 at all ranks to 15 scaling down to 9, so that's fine. 2 ability power. 0.5 ability power. Okay, so this is 15% weaker total if she hits you with all the orbs. That's fine. Shield ratio. Total bonus 0.2 health bonus. We'll have to see how this is. These numbers are hard to imagine in my head, so she does a little bit less damage by smacking you with the balls. If you know what I'm saying. Lunar Rush. Diana's old ultimate. So her ultimate got moved to her E. Does it still have the same effects? Like if you hit somebody with the... That's fine. It's gonna feel weird though if you're a Diana main. So they've moved Diana's ult to be her E, which makes her stronger early, and then her R... They must have buffed this, right? Yeah, the slow is higher. And the cooldown is way higher. Mana cost higher. Okay, let's read this, because this is... They had to give it something. They're not going to put Diana's old E as like a tiny little slow and a pull-in on a 100-second cooldown. Here we are. If Diana pulls in one or more enemy champions, the Moonlight crashes down onto her after 1 second, dealing 200, 300, 400, plus 60% ability power, magic damage in an area around her, increased by 35, 60, 85 for each target beyond the first pulled. So you jump on top of somebody, press R, and it's a 1 second is a long time, though. So you can flash out of the way, but if you don't, that's big damage. 400 plus 60% ability power. Guess we'll have to see. She's still a one-shot mage. They didn't switch that. She just wants to get on top of you and one-shot you. But they switched it so that she one-shots with her E now. This is weird, this 1 second thing. I don't know how that's going to play out. It doesn't seem like 1 second is a long time, but 1 second is still a pretty long time in League of Legends. Garen. Garen is one of the biggest winners from the Conqueror changes. Garen is just too naturally tanky too. I feel like they could gut his base stats by a lot. Climbing well above our acceptable limits. As a result, builds relying on attack speed are dominating his itemization choices. While we wanted attack speed builds to be viable, we don't want Glass Cannon Garen to be the only Garen. Glass Cannon? What do you mean? Garen reminds me of a bunch of old Season 3, 4 top laners where they're just incredibly tanky, have a ton of health, and still deal the most damage in the game, which is why top laners nowadays are mad, because they can't do that anymore. Spin damage 0 to 6.6. So they nerfed that by a little bit, and then the AD scaling is the same. Number of spins, that's 5%. This is a tiny nerf. I don't know why they did such a small kneecapping to him. This is not what he needed. He needed way bigger changes than that. This guy's fucking banana crazy. I guess we'll have to see. But he's really good. And those changes won't do anything, right? You need 5% extra attack speed to get a bonus spin, but this guy was overkilling people and just standing in the middle of fights and never dying. I don't think that that's what he needed there, boys. We'll see. Little buff for Karma, my friend Sourknot Hardcore, the Karma main. A little buff for him, and my friend Paul. So we'll see. A little tiny Karma buff. Kassadin. Q from 9 seconds at all ranks to 11 scaling to 9. The mana restoration is down by 2% at max. Not really a hard kneecapping, but they did something to him. They gotta update Kassadin's model again. I think that he still looks a little weird. Health growth. Rammus is now a more tanky guy. Eve. Taunt down to 10 seconds. That's fine. There are a bunch of things, like, now that I've played against so many Malphites, I'm just thankful that you can do stuff against this. Like, if you buy a QSS, you can get away from Rammus. Thank you. If you buy a QSS, you're still gonna get one shot by Malphite. Rise Q. Damage down at all ranks by quite a bit. Wow. We're also nerfing his best performing rune, Conqueror, so some might call this the Riot Special. But he deserved this change based on his phase rush performance as well. I'll agree. He was pretty strong. He's not hard to play anymore now that they've changed him. I think that he's considerably easier to play. But if you know how to play him really well, he does very nice. He has bad matchups, though. Yeah. That's fine. That's the kind of gutting that I think Garen needed. Like, that's way more. 15 on early rank Qs, right? Like, this damage stacks up because you get off multiple Qs in a fight, so you're down like close to 100 damage every fight. Whatever. Senna changes. My main problem with Senna was that you couldn't really heal anything. Like, it was not easy to dodge her. You couldn't position in a way around your minions where she couldn't shoot through stuff to hit you. Her heal of her AD was good, and then once she hit 6, she really started popping off not because she was killing people with her ult, but she was healing people and giving them big old shields, right? So they actually increase the damage on that. Okay, they rebalance some stuff. Health growth down by 10. Very big. Senna is too powerful as both a support and ADC. I have to agree. Look at Senna ADC. This shit's hilarious. Bottom, Senna, rank 1 on AD carry with a 54.6 win rate. Disgusting. Disgusting. Very, very overtuned. So these changes, I hope that they make it so that she can't just go either or. I think that they needed to gut her to the point where, well, my hope is with these changes that they just make her more reliant on being a support and less reliant on being a carry. I'm fine with her building Athenes and items like that, but the one-shot potential and damage was just too high. Missed Wraith drop chance from 5.55 to 1.6. That's fine. Piercing Darkness. Damage ratio down by 10% and flat 10. That's good. That's another one of those abilities that just starts to stack up over time, right? Like in laning, if she gets 3 less Qs on you now, or 3 Qs on you now, that's almost 50 or 60 less damage. It's nice. This could have really been nerfed too. The root duration early. I think that they're going to gut this again. I don't know why because this is really easy to land in my opinion as well. It's long range, it moves pretty quickly. I think that people are more comfortable dodging Morgana Qs than this. And then because it spreads out too, you can still get hit if your support's bad or your AD carry's bad and brings it over to you. So I feel like they could nerf this a little bit more too. Early ganks were definitely pretty strong. I don't think that these changes are enough to get her down. They'll probably bring her down to like 52%, but 52% on support and then almost 54.56-ish here. That's way too high. I would gut her more. People don't like playing against this character either, which is unhealthy for the game. When Yuumi first released as well, Yuumi was kind of a nightmare to play against. Nobody liked playing against her and just banned her because of that. Right now, I think Yuumi is not a dead character, but she sees way less play than she did on release, right? Yuumi pick rate 2.38%, and she doesn't win a lot either. Yeah! How far back in the history of Yuumi can we look? Not that far back. I want to see release Yuumi. Friend. Yeah, it doesn't go back far enough. Rats! That's the kind of changes that I think make the game more playable for people who are longtime players of it, because every 2 weeks or so there is something that you're upset about that there's really no way to deal with it. And there's so many characters now that there's probably 1 or 2 or 3 that you really hate. Oh look, they give her a little boost. We were just talking about you, Yuumi. Anyway, these are probably not enough to switch anything on the character. Sivir gets 2 AD, sure. Yuumi. Passive restores mana once again. Q cost increase, damage decrease. Thank you! Yuumi no longer teleports with her anchor. Wait. You mean that if she is tethered to somebody and they teleport, it doesn't work? We have to read that. We're encouraging Yuumi to be the enchanter she was meant to be by buffing her supportive capabilities at the cost of damage. That's what should have always been. Yuumi Q was so hard to dodge and it hit so hard and the slow was huge and you got fucking murdered every time that it hit you. At the cost of damage, yeah. However, to access all of her power, she'll have to sit on squishier champions instead of being an untargetable damage source on top of an already unkillable champion, like Garen. Yeah, we saw that at Worlds quite a few times, right? Or did we only see it a couple times? Anyway, Yuumi Garen bottom lane. It's a strategy. The synergy definitely makes sense, but it's very lame. Like Garen, we're also asking her to sometimes expose herself to real danger by allowing attentive opponents to have actual kill threat on an unattached Yuumi. Well, that's good. And seriously, we have the data. Yuumi is a really weird case where taking the wrong runes is negatively and dramatically causing people to think she is worse than she actually is. Please take array instead of comment. That's smart. This is the auto attack, right? Now restores 50 to 160 mana. Base shield. That's fine. Repelling projectile damage, or this is the cost. Cost up by 10. 10, 5, 10. 10, 10. Why am I so stupid? Yeah, it's 10. Caused up by 10. Damage ratio down by 15. That's quite a bit. Empowered damage down by more too. I don't know how these work. I didn't know that she had an empowered damage. I'm guessing that you get like a proc, kind of like Leona. I didn't know that you got bonus damage by attacking the person that she queued. Interesting, interesting. Missile duration's 3 seconds to 2 seconds. And the speed is the same, so it's going to be easier to dodge. Cool. You and Me now has a channel time of 0.5 seconds. Oh, wow! Interesting. Okay, that was one of the main problems with her too, was this was so stupid. She'd pop off of somebody, you'd try and even auto-attack her, it wouldn't work because she'd just retether. Yuumi no longer teleports with her anchor when attached. Now that's a nerf that I don't even think needed to be added. And that feels bad for her character. I don't think that you need to do this. They'll probably re-add that. Immobilizing Yuumi places this ability on a 5-second cooldown. Damn. Wow, why are they so mean to her? This W got gutted really hard. Damn. Attack zooms grant 25, 30, 35, 40, 45% attack speed to herself or the anchor target. So she gets a attack speed steroid. That's fine. This is a weird direction to take the character. I wanted her to be more support focused like this instead of having damage, because I complain about this all the time. There are characters in the game that deal way too much damage for how difficult they are to play. Yuumi was dealing a lot of damage for not even being hard at all to play. So they've rebalanced her into more of a support by giving her this attack speed steroid, and the heal has gone up here too. The healing ratio is up by 20% as well on the heal. No longer increases based on missing health. And the cooldown got lowered by quite a bit. Cost is up. Movement speed 15%. No longer decays over time. Fine. Duration 3 seconds. I guess we'll have to see. I don't know how this is. So she's more just like a little Nami that sits inside of you. And who wouldn't want that? Lux, they're changing her looks or something. Completely revamped and cleaned up the charge and explosion effects. That's fine. Lux became a weird mascot for the brand. I don't know why Lux became the character of League of Legends that is used in advertising. She seems pretty generic to me. Whatever. Makes sense to clean her up, though. They gotta redo her base model. She looks funny as well. Conqueror! Duration 8 to 6 seconds. Range champions now heal for 15 to 8. It's fine. We'll see how that goes. I don't know how Omistone even works. When people picked it, I didn't notice that it was on. I didn't notice when they were using any of the specialty stuff. I guess it's something. Omistone to be a little bit smarter at giving you the right keystone at the right time. Below are some guidelines you can count on when taking prototype Omistone. Glacial Augment. More likely to get Glacial Augment if you have a Glacial item off cooldown. More likely to get Summoner Airy when you have healing shielding power and are near a low health. Okay, so this is... I thought it was supposed to have randomness to it. I guess that was not good. It's still gonna have randomness to it, but you're more likely. I feel like what they're saying by this is that if you're going to get stuff that's useful, not more likely. We'll have to see, but still, it's really awkward. I don't know how this works exactly, so I guess we'll see. Ezreal buffs. Base health up to 500, base mana up to 375, base mana regen up by quite a bit. Wow, that's nice. Mystic Shot damage up by 5 at all ranks. Cool. Cooldown 7 to 3 seconds for melee champions, 11 to 7 seconds for ranged champions. I still don't know how this really works. This already happened though, right? Okay, that already happened. Did they add the toggle to make the map not go funny? That would be nice. Yeah, these are things that already happened. Herald damage 1,500 to 2,000. I knew this happened. This was really noticeable. Tint adjustment. Reduce the intensity of map-wide tint for Infernal and Ocean Drakes, Ground, and Fog of War. Can you turn it off, though? Return to the Poro King, ARAM balance, duplicate username changes, blah, 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 blah. So they're really not going to give you a toggle. Is that right? That's not cool. Oh, well. Huh. I want to turn it off still. Like, I get it. The map is different. I'm okay with the ground textures. I don't want the map tint, though. You can change the ground textures. I still won't like it. I would still rather just know what rift it is. It's not really that difficult to remember. You can see it on the mini-map, too. Whatever. Hey, that's that. I talked about this before too, but I think that the changes that they did with this preseason, when I saw them on paper, I thought that they were going to be really, really crazy and change the game up a lot. The alcoves, the dragon changes. Basically, you just have more fights at dragon, which is not a bad thing. And the alcove is not super important. Like, sometimes people go in there and kind of get out of sticky situations, but it doesn't change a hell of a lot. Having that middle bush, the middle bush is more impactful in my opinion than having the alcove. People like having control of that little middle bush, having it separated into 3 chunks, I think is good instead of 2. Yeah, we'll see. I still hope that they add a toggle for that. And then ranked, I think I looked this up January 8th or something, the new season starts, so we still have a bit of time on our hands.